Good afternoon, Dolphins fans. Welcome to another episode of On the FinSide with Kat and Paul. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, all of our social media outlets, as well as the Fansided Network and FinFanatic.com. We are 5 picks before the Dolphins' fifth round selection here. And, it's been a long wait, Paul, for a pick number 81 when the Dolphins took tight end Hunter Long. So we've waited through the whole fourth round. There's still some interesting players here. Who do you really have your eye on here at pick number 156?
I hate to say it, it's I've got three skill position players and a center. I'm going to sit here on my center hill and continue to pound the table, but I've got wide receivers Trey Smith out of South Carolina. I've got Cade Johnson from South Dakota State. Elijah Mitchell from Louisiana Lafayette, the guy I've been pounding the table for. And we had an interesting interaction, actually, you and I, with Rob Profit off the air. And when you look at Elijah Mitchell's measurables, abilities, and skill set, his closest comp is Travis Etienne, which is not a terrible place to be, especially if Miami could grab this guy here in round 5. Outside of that, Trey Hill, it's, him or... If you whiff on Trey Hill, you better pray Jimmy Morrissey doesn't get drafted.
Yeah, I actually like Michael Manet from Penn State. He's actually my top-rated center on the board now if the Dolphins do go in that direction. But I'm always best player available at this point, especially here on day 3. And so my board shapes out first Jamar Johnson from Indiana. I'm surprised that he's slipping as far as he is. James Wiggins from Cincinnati as well. I mean, I understand why he's slipping because he's had injury problems there at Cincinnati. And Kenneth Gainwell, the running back from Memphis, still shockingly on the board, opted out of last year, but in 2019 had over 2,000 total yards.
I forgot Gainwell was still on the board, to be honest with you. It's been that kind of day. I watched so many running backs come off.
Actually, he's not anymore. Kenneth Gainwell was just taken by the Eagles.
Like I said, Kenneth Gainwell wasn't on my best available list. So, we're going to say it's I was ahead of you and not just that I missed he was on my board still.
Another interesting guy, too, and it depends how the medicals are, is Trey Smith from Tennessee. Still out there. But like we talked about beforehand, when we were talking about the guards, is this guy could go second round. He could fall out of the draft because of the medicals. He's got blood clot issues, and he's pretty inconsistent too. But I do think he's a talent. So if he were the Dolphins pick here at 156, I think it would be worth the risk.
It would be. I mean, once you hit the 5th round, you're just drafting for upside talent or somebody that's plug and play in most cases. So the upside is there if the medical's clear.
You bet. Other players I've got are defensive backs, really. I mean, Shaun Wade from Ohio State's still on the board, and if you keep him as a slot guy or as a safety, I think that you could have some value there. When he moved to outside cornerback this year for Ohio State, it was an ugly season for him. Kerry Vincent from LSU, a slot guy, still available too. Nigel Dean from the University of Florida State, big guy, and that strong safety linebacker combo there. That tweener type also would make a lot of sense. So defensive backs for me is where the value is right now, even though the Dolphins don't really need one. But I don't care about need at this point.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm still seeing a lot of wide receivers I like, a handful of running backs. There's a lot of, and I know we're 14 deep at wide receiver, but at this point it's like you said, best available. There's always going to be a few DBs that'll slip into those later rounds that are worth looking at. And I believe Damar Hamlin is still on the board.
Yes, he is. I was going to mention that too. Again, another defensive back. That's in our mock who I predicted for the Dolphins in the 5th round.
Was it Hamlin that is still running his 40 at this point? He ran so slow.
No, he didn't run that slow. He ran 4.6. which
Okay.
isn't not fast by any means, but
Who am
it,
I thinking of? Was his running back?
Paris Ford, his teammate.
Yes. Yes.
And,
I don't think he's finished his 40 yet.
okay, Larry Borum just goes off the board here at pick number 151, offensive tackle from Mizzou.
Hmm.
And I always thought he was a really, just solid, kind of slow footed player. Definitely worth it here in the fifth round.
Ooh. Who took Joshua Kando?
Chiefs,
I
final
like
pick of
that pick.
the fourth round.
I like that pick a lot.
He's a massive guy. I mean,
Yeah, but
I,
he's got a motor. I mean,
yeah, he can't bend the edge to save his life, but he can go straight up with the offensive tackle. I
I
mean,
was gonna say you don't have to bend it as much if you shove the other guy straight backwards.
yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. So now we're how many picks away from the Dolphins now? We're you got
We're at
the
153, I believe.
Broncos here.
Oh, we're 152. So then Cleveland, then the Jets. Um,
Broncos, Cleveland, Jets, 49ers, and then the Dolphins.
Andy Reid, dude. Like, I just can't. You got Brian Flores in his nice suit. You look at Andy Reid's war room. Everybody's in suit and tie, pretty much. Uh, and then there's Andy in his shorts and his luau shirt, uh, just crutching around the room, chatting away.
Good for him. Let's see here. On day three, just taking a look at the board here. Jabril Cox falling to 115 is incredible to me. What a steal for the Cowboys. Uh, and Michael Carter goes 107 to the Jets. Oh, I hated that. I hated that because, productive player and somebody that can really fill that role as a third down back for the Jets and be dynamic. You're talking about somebody who outperformed Javonte Williams, at least statistically, at the running back spot. So shocking he falls here to not shocking, but good value here in the fourth round for the Jets.
Well, right there with it is Ramondre Stevenson going to the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots have shown they know how to use a Ramondre Stevenson style back in the past, and they've been waiting for something like that. And he's a deceptive receiver out of the backfield as well. So it's that could be a dangerous pairing as well here.
Yeah, I cringed for you a little bit when Ramondre went to the Patriots. It's been a yeah. Cameron Bynum from California uh, goes to the Vikings. I thought that was good value. Jalen Darden, 129 to the Bucks. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
I
good.
tweeted out after that one that the Bucks should be forced to forfeit Jalen Darden to us because I'm pretty sure Flores and Greer called dibs on any spelling of the name Jalen. So I think he actually just gets deferred over to our team after the Bucks picked him.
Yeah. Tylan Wallace goes a couple picks later to the Ravens, and that's not a surprise. I mean, you know, it's they always seem to get that player that falls to them.
Yeah.
Caden Stearns comes off the board here to the Broncos. Brandon Jones's teammate tested out unbelievably, 4.4 flat, 42-inch vertical leap. I mean, I still don't think the tape matches up though when it comes to Stearns. So
Yeah, it's what do you call it? And you mentioned Tylan Wallace there. I mean, what a great wide receiver pairing that the Ravens got there between Wallace and Bateman early in round one. I talk about giving Lamar Jackson some weapons there in Baltimore.
yeah, good value at both spots, late first as well as fourth round of the draft here. So yeah, you bet. So hopefully they can get it right there at the wide receiver position finally. Stearns here. So now you've got the Browns at pick 153, then the Jets at 154. Niners at 155, and the Dolphins at 156 here. So, and pardon if I've asked this already, Paul, who is your number one choice?
If gun to head right now, I had to make that call, I would probably go Elijah Mitchell right now.
Okay, okay.
I know he's not consensusly up there, but he's a guy that you've had to listen to me say his name about 400 times over the past 3 months. Ever since I caught wind of this kid out of small school Louisiana Lafayette and started watching him, you know me, you know I'm an eye test guy. I throw a couple measurables in that I care about, like depending on the position, like wide receivers. I don't care about their size per se, depending on what their game is. Running backs, I care a little bit about their speed, and I care a little more about the size with the running backs. And Mitchell just checks so many boxes. He's sneaky good, and he screams a Flores player. I mean, he's a captain of the team. He's a leader. He's not selfish. He loves football. I mean, loves football is like the biggest checkbox on a Brian Flores, player sheet. So seeing a kid that openly loves football the way he does is only going to move him up that list as well for Flores and Greer.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I would say now, I mean, it's not that I want to go cornerback here or defensive back, but that's where all the value is. So if they came away with Jamar Johnson out of Indiana, that would be by far my top choice. And then Shaun Wade out of Ohio State. I think if you keep stocking that defensive back position, then that's definitely something I want the Dolphins to do. Kerry Vincent from LSU, Nasruddin from Florida State, and a guard Trey Smith from Tennessee. Are the ones I'm looking at here. I mean, it really could be anybody at this point.
Yeah, I mean, another one that I love, and I know I mentioned him before, is Shi Smith out of South Carolina. He's one of those guys that's in that group of players I've been talking about since last year's draft. He's as far down the list as he is, A, due to the depth of wide receivers in this draft, and B, due to the fact that for some reason South Carolina receivers tend to fly under the radar when it comes to draft ranks. So he's a guy I think could be a steal here. Cade Johnson is an ascending talent at wide receiver as well. One wide receiver that I'm not fully sold on. I loved him at his pro day, and this made me go check him out a little bit more. He's got good speed. Sima Fehoko out of Stanford. The thing I hated when I watched this tape is he can't catch a ball with pads on without falling down. And it's just, you watch his highlights, every freaking catch he has, even if he's wide open, he falls down. So if you think you can fix that, you've got a heck of a player on your hands, but that's a weird thing to have to fix.
Yeah, Cade Johnson, I think I'm surprised he's available now. He gets separation. I could see him being a good fit with Tua. I still don't want the Dolphins, obviously, to go wide receiver. Somebody mentioned in the chat, Kylan Hill, Ryan F. Thank you, and he's somebody that I would like. I think at this point, you're talking about somebody at 215 pounds, really moves well and catches the ball very well out of the backfield. So he's somebody I would certainly entertain.
Now, did you mention Dalen Hayes from Notre Dame?
No, actually, that's a good one too.
Because he's a guy that I'd like. I know Miami did already get Jalen Phillips, but I think Dalen Hayes is a tremendously underrated talent out of Notre Dame. I like the way he comes off the edge, and really, he's one that I could be targeting here. God, there's a lot of wide receivers left. This is a crazy draft for that position.
You and your wide receivers. And
it's not even me and my wide receivers. It's just there. It is.
But but I'll tell you what. I'll extend an olive branch to you here. For months, I told you to shut up about tight ends, and then they draft one in the third round. Like, that's my bad on that. So I still hate the pick,
I
but damn it, they ended up taking a tight end in the third round.
well, how about what was it 2 years ago when they took Gesicki and Smythe, and I told everybody for months Miami was going to double down on tight end.
Yeah, you did. You did.
And everybody, like even our listeners, were like, "Just dude, no one doubles down on tight end in any draft." I'm like, "We're gonna, like, we are going to."
And then
round 2, and probably like round 3 or 4, like we're taking 2 tight ends. I did it on my draft.
Next year, the Dolphins are going to have like they're going to have Durham Smythe back somehow, and Mike Gesicki back, and Hunter.
We're gonna have 14 tight ends next year.
They're gonna have 6 tight ends on the roster.
We do have 6 tight ends on the roster.
I'm gonna say, Paul, shut up about the tight ends. We got 6 tight ends on the roster, and then they're gonna draft another one.
They're gonna draft 3.
My God. Tony Fields from Virginia just went off the board. Good, very active linebacker for Virginia, and fits the size speed profile too. He's a smart, durable football player there for Virginia. West Virginia. So now you've got the Jets, the Niners, and the Dolphins here. Paul, before I walk over here to grab something, let's see what question I can ask you here to keep you occupied.
So, Kat, you know what? I'm Ignatius Cheese. Before you go walk over to grab something, Ignatius Cheese has said this in our chat, and he's always here for us. So I'm going to bring it up. He has stood on this hill even more than me with the tight ends. And this hill that he's standing upon is that Miami is firmly taking a punter in round 7. What are your thoughts there?
They gave guaranteed money to Pilardi. So I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm always in favor of drafting a kicker, a punter, or a long snapper in the 7th round. If I were a GM, I would never have 6th or 7th round picks. Never. So, and you know, people can mention Jeremiah Bell and Jakeem Grant and Vincent Taylor, some good value the Dolphins have had, but I think they're basically undrafted free agents. So, yeah, you want to draft a Max Duffy from Kentucky in the 7th round? Okay, I'm down for it.
All right, so listeners, we've been talking about who we want here in round 5 with this pick. Who do you want? Let us know in the chat, and guys, make sure you click that like button while you're here. We appreciate you guys being out here on a Saturday, the day that not everybody thinks is fun, but this is really the area that your team is built off of. It's anybody can draft in the first 3 rounds. Well, almost anybody. But if you can find those quality players here, if you can find those quality players as undrafted free agents, this is where your team excels, is if you can do those things. Cat, this is Happy Cat. He's got draft stuff. Don't let him fool you.
No, I'm not grumpy. I'm in a good mood.
Wait,
this is me in a good.
We traded. What did we trade? Dolphins traded the pick to the Steelers.
Steelers are picking. I don't think they have a 5th round pick. So Steelers, I think, pick next. I'm looking for them here on the board. 216.
You jinxed it. You said we would never have a 7th round pick, and are we out there getting more 7th round picks?
Yeah, I guess so. At least it'll make the rest of the draft more entertaining here.
I bet it's so that we can draft 2 punters just for Iggy.
And right ahead of us is Jalen Moore. It would have been funny if the Dolphins had got them. Let's see.
Oh, no, sorry. I was like, that doesn't even make sense. They were showing Kenneth Gainwell. I'm like, wait, what? He already went, and they already took Najee.
Ooh.
What?
So the Dolphins get, I love this here. Dolphins trade pick number 156 for a 2022 fourth round pick.
Okay.
So now they trade it, they traded their third rounder to move up for Liam Eichenberg, which I didn't really care for, but
We had 2/3 anyway next year, correct?
yeah, we did originally, but then the Dolphins traded one of those to move back up, or to move back up for Liam Eichenberg. So now they've only got an extra. They've got an extra fourth next year.
But we still have one third round pick. All right.
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, wait, why? Did I miss something?
So I'm good with that, and also I think the Dolphins have an extra 6th-round pick too, for the Isaiah Ford trade. But that I don't know if that's conditional or not. So okay.
The weird thing, and I just noticed this while I was trying to look up the Dolphins stuff. The Jets not only took Michael Carter, the running back, but they took Michael Carter, the DB. So they saw us taking all the Jalen's and said, "I'll see that and raise you."
I don't even know who that is.
From Duke.
Michael Carter from Duke, huh? That would be the first player of this draft I have not heard of.
They were just talking about the whole stump the truck thing too. We did it. I like the Jets taking no name players.
Yeah, me too. Let's see.
All right, so Kat,
Michael Carter the second out of Duke. Interesting.
If we're not picking for probably another 2 hours,
see ya.
I think we can probably hop off the air here. Guys, we're gonna hop off the air. We're still watching the draft. If anything comes up that we need to talk about, we'll hop on in here. But Kat, anything you want to add before we hop off the air here?
Actually, let's go ahead and grade this pick here. For the Dolphins trade pick 156 for a fourth rounder in 2022. I give it an A. I mean, there's not a lot that I liked here at this spot. Somebody I absolutely wanted the Dolphins to have. So you get a fourth rounder next year. I mean, it's probably going to be a pick that's between 110 and 120, somewhere around that range. So I'm totally fine with it.
I'll give it a B. I mean, there were some guys I liked. A few of them were luxury picks, but one was really something that could have completed that backfield, and that's with Elijah Mitchell still on the board. I do like adding a fourth next year, but it's a little bit of a struggle for me when I feel like there's some needs and some players that can meet them and still be in that best available mix.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for our check-in here on the 5th round pick. I'm Brian Cat NFL, Paul's Fanatic _pick. Join us on Twitter, Facebook, all of our social media outlets, and we'll have breakdowns for the remaining picks that the Dolphins have. They've got 2 7th round picks, and we'll be sure to break those down as well. So if it's not on the right side and it's not on the left side, it is on the fin side.